welcome into another edition of the Fred and Coach Mo Show. Hey, man, let's just, once again, just jump right off in it, man. The people have been waiting for this show. We made some predictions last week with the AFC and NFC championship games. You were right. You picked the Rams and the Patriots, man. So congratulations on that. What are your thoughts of those of the games?
Man, you know, I predicted the Rams and Patriots, but you know, the Saints and the Chiefs both had opportunities to win those games,
Sure.
man. I'm looking back at the Rams and Saints game.
A lot of controversy in that game, right?
A lot of controversy. Couple of calls, man, that I saw that could have went in the Saints' favor that didn't. But, man, being a coach and knowing how football goes, I don't think that cost the Saints the game.
Ooh, I don't know, man.
I don't think that cost them the game. That last pass interference call, man, that was tough, man. That was tough. And they had two officials right there on top of it. I don't see how they couldn't make that call. But at the end of the day, man, Breeze had an opportunity to win that game in overtime.
He did.
And they didn't take advantage of their opportunity.
You know, it's crazy because that was an awesome, amazing game. And the only thing that people are going to remember is that no call.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
As I sat and I watched the game, man, honestly, I had already come to the realization it didn't matter to me who won because both teams were deserving of the victory, right? And I was actually going, you know, for the Rams, right? So, man, Breeze drops back. He throws the ball, and the DB just nailed the dude, man. You know, he didn't look back, make a play on the ball or nothing, man. Hit the dude, punked him out, you know, whatever, man. And it's like when he got up, it's like he was looking for them to throw the flag on him. He was surprised they didn't throw the flag. So that's kind of why I was like, man, they're not going to call this. Normally, they would probably have gotten together and said, hey, man, we got to get this right. This is a big play that can determine whether or not one team goes to the Super Bowl or not. So, you know, I'm not going to lie to you. Even though I was going for the Rams, man, I do feel as if the Saints got robbed on that one. And I know not one play determines the outcome of a game. That's what we say as coaches. But in reality, I truly believe that play caused the Saints to miss out on a great opportunity for Breeze to go back and play in his second Super Bowl.
And you're right. But, like you said, one play don't cost the game. That hurt them. And who knows, man? Look, if Saints had got that call, who knows what could have happened the next play. Could have been a fumble and the Rams could have got the ball back. Who knows? But, I mean, they did take that opportunity away from them. But they were given another opportunity. That's all I'm saying. But on the flip side of it, they didn't get that call right. But the NFL fined Roby Coleman for the hit, hit, which – I mean,
well, that shows right there. If it wasn't pass interference, it should have at least been, you know, helmet to helmet or something. I checked out an article, an online article, when Roby, that's his name, the DB, right?
Yeah.
All right. So initially he was like, yeah, man, I was pass interference, man, and I knew I was beat, and I was just gonna tackle him or whatever, right? Well, you know he changed the story, right? So I read an article. So allegedly he changed the story and said, "No, man, somebody yelled out that the ball was tipped." So when I heard him say the ball was tipped, you know, I just busted him up, man, because you know once the ball is tipped, there's no pass interference, you know. So they go back and I was looking at the replay, and they're showing the guy throw the ball, right? Well, they're showing Breeze throw the ball, and the ball looks like the guy's hands may have barely grazed the ball. So who knows, man? You know, who knows, man? So anyway, the Rams move on. You know, we both predicted that the Rams will move on anyway. So in that sense, I do believe the football gods got it right because the Rams did move on as you and I predicted. What about that Patriots game?
That's another controversial game. There was a couple of calls in that game that I feel like hurt the Chiefs. You know, it's a lot of talk about that game right now, about the unfairness of the overtime rules in the NFL with, you know, the Chiefs not getting an opportunity to go and score. Which, I mean, the rule been like that for years, man. So, I mean, I don't know why it been making a big deal of it now. Mm-hmm. I mean, I would like to see it change. I think both teams should get an opportunity. It should go like NCAA rules.
Right.
That's what I think. But, I mean, there's no need to make a big deal of it right now, man. You know, I mean, you giving Tom Brady the football, man, in overtime with a chance to go to the Super Bowl.
Right.
Hey, man, you should have won the coin toss, man. You should have known what was going to happen after that, you know.
Well, you actually picked the Patriots to go to the Super Bowl. I didn't. I actually thought the Chiefs were the better team. You know, I was definitely wrong in that particular case.
So. I think you're right. The Chiefs are a better team.
Well, I'm gonna tell you why I can acknowledge being wrong. Man, it's hard to go against Brady. Yeah. You know, the guy just has such command of the game, and his football IQ is almost second to none, right? So when I'm looking at him doing the fourth quarter, and I'm watching this guy, man, just basically pick the KC defense apart, and he's so predictable. You know where he's going, but he still goes there. You know, they spread Gronk out wide, and they throw the ball right to him. Man, I'm like, come on, man, y'all can't realize that.
Gronk was killing Eric Berry over there trying to spread him. I mean, he was killing him, man.
Well, I tell you what, the controversial aspect of it to me was I still feel as if Goodell is trying to get back in the good graces of Kraft because it seems like it never fails in big games with the Patriots. They always get a critical call
late
that helps them to keep a drive alive. Now, in this particular game, I want to say it was at least two third downs to where New England was bailed out with a questionable call, right? So on the one with the neutral zone, right. Man, I'm telling you right now, and I know, you know, I've talked to referees and they said, hey, man, it was a right call. My only thing is this, man. In the neutral zone, the guy doesn't jump. He's lined up in the neutral zone. That's a free play, man. So it was third down. It really didn't matter what Tom Brady did. They was going to get this guy an opportunity for another third down, or they were going to move the chains for a first down. Those are the things that I don't like when it comes to the Patriots, because I just feel like they always get the benefit of the doubt.
They the Patriots. They the Patriots, man. Everybody talk about Cowboys, America's team. No, they the Patriots. They are the New England Patriots. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they come with a lot of question marks too, though, man.
They do.
A lot of questionable calls. You know, I was on Facebook, man. There's a lot of debates going on right now. You know, y'all know how I feel about who I think the greatest QB of all time is. You know, Joe Montana, without a doubt. You know, it's a lot of debates going back and forth between Tom Brady being the GOAT. And like I said, hey, man, I respect everyone's opinion. There's no right or wrong answer. It really just depends on who you mess with.
My opinion, Brady. Look, I'm not a Brady fan. I'm not a Patriots fan.
Right.
I honestly don't like the Patriots. I like Belichick because he reminds me a lot of Nick Saban in the way he handles himself as a coach. Which I respect it, man. Tom Brady is the greatest of all time.
So right now he's 5-3, to my understanding. Right? He's won 5 Super Bowls. He's lost 3. Of those 5, a couple of them are questionable. But, you know, it is what it is, man.
He's been in 8 straight AFC championship games.
So my question for all those that believe Tom Brady is the greatest, including you, is if, for whatever reason, the Rams win, Tom Brady ends up 5-4. That means he's won just as many as he's lost. Is he still the greatest? Yes. And if so, why?
I mean, he's there consistently, man. Look, he's ran the AFC since he took over as a starting quarterback. Okay. I think he's only went as maybe at the most since he's been a starter 2 years with not being in the Super Bowl. Like between the years of 2000 to 2019 right now, it's been Brady in every Super Bowl other than Peyton Manning to been in 2, and my boy from Baltimore, Flacco,
right.
was in one. Other than that, man, Brady had been in every Super Bowl, man, in the 2000s.
So is that a testament of his greatness, or is it just maybe the competition just ain't what it used to be?
The thing is this:
there's no parity in that.
Yeah, but the competition it's the highest level of football is NFL, man. You can't you can't talk about the competition when all these guys are getting paid millions to play the game, and the Patriots don't have like the best roster his roster changes every year. Every year they don't have that big time receiver.
Right.
They don't have the big name running backs. They don't have the big name linemen like the Cowboys have or like the Rams have.
I agree.
Consistently all they have is Belichick and Brady, and everything around them change.
Well, see, that's my whole point, and that's why I say, like I said, not to take anything away from Brady, because I think, in my opinion, he's in the top 3, right? But in today's era of football, it's kind of difficult for me to just get this guy that GOAT title, because they line up with 5 receivers almost every play, right? You can't even touch him. We go back to the controversy. A referee thought a guy touched his face mask and threw a flag on him.
That was a bad call.
Because he thought he touched his face mask. So my point is, man, in today's era of football, it's a passing game. How can you not be great when every rule is structured for you to be able to go down the field? The receivers, they can run across the middle now. Back in Montana days, man, you only had 2 receivers and a tight end.
Yeah.
Every now and then you threw the ball to a back out the backfield.
Yeah.
These guys could not run across the middle. You had guys like Ronnie Lott. You had guys like John Lynch. You had guys that was knocking the crap out of dudes, man. Steve Atwater. Yeah. Can you imagine Edelman trying to run across the middle with one of those guys playing free safety?
Listen, I see where you're going with it, and you're right. But this is almost okay. This is the same comparison of the eras that they're playing in.
Right.
You got Brady in Montana. Go back to the Jordan and LeBron thing. The same. Everybody talk about LeBron and so man. It ain't nothing nobody can tell me to make me believe Jordan is not the greatest of all time.
Right.
I feel like Michael Jordan is the greatest of all time.
Right.
But if you look at the stuff that LeBron is doing, I can see that argument. I can see the argument of him being the greatest. He's that consistent. He's man. Every team he's been on in the past, some year in Miami they went to the finals. Cleveland went to the finals, and that's what I'm saying with Brady right now. Man, Brady has took New England there. Damn near every year he'd been the starting quarterback. Now, I did go back and think about it. He do have with Belichick being a coach too, man. Look. The Patriots went 10-6 with who was it?
Garoppolo?
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle.
Yeah,
okay.
They started out 4-0 Garoppolo when Brady was suspended, right?
Right.
They went 10-6. They missed the playoffs that year, but they went 10-6 with Matt Castle. Now the thing is, they win with other quarterbacks. They do that. So
here's the deal, man. Brady's not going to retire. There's no reason for him to retire. If he could just sit back in the pocket without being touched, why would he retire? Only thing he got to do is just keep his arm right. It don't matter how flabby, how slow. As long as he has this and this, he's good, man. I don't want the Patriots to win, but I don't want the Patriots to win because I want everyone to realize that as great as Brady is a product of the era of football that he plays in and the system that he's been afforded over the past, 17 years or whatever, how many years he's been playing, So, like I said, nothing against the Patriots or Brady. I just want to see the Rams win.
I want to see the Rams win as well, Fred. Man, look, the Rams got a lot of players on their roster that I feel like some of the best players in the league. If you look at the Rams roster, hell, there's no reason they should have lost the game, period, this year. Man, they probably got, it's not even probably, man. Debatable. The best running back in the league.
Right.
Man, Todd Gurley's a monster.
Right.
Look at the receivers he got around him, man. All these speedster guys with Reynolds and my boy out of USC. Can't think of his name right now. man, and Cooks.
Right.
I mean, he got weapons. What's my boy name? Goff. Jared Goff.
Yeah.
That was the only question mark I had was Jared Goff. And now he's showing, man, that, hey, shit, he played just as well as Breeze.
Well, look, let me ask you this. Okay, so when I'm thinking of the Patriots and Rams game, I don't know why I keep getting flashbacks of Alabama-Clemson, with the Patriots being Alabama because they've been there so many times, right? And Clemson being the Rams, which are the underdogs, right? I want the Rams to win, but in my heart of hearts, I just know it's damn me impossible to beat Brady in the Super Bowl.
Not really. If Eli Manning can do it twice,
well, but
somebody
you know
else
what?
can
Eli's
do it.
really the only one other than the Eagles last year to have done it. You got to think, man. The Seahawks had the Patriots beat.
That was on coaching.
And that's what I'm saying. So it just seems as if the Patriots are like the golden boy of the NFL, and there's something just always works in their favor. You go back and you look at the first time they played the Rams with the tuck rule. It's like, man, how are these guys finding ways to pull this off? You go back
that tuck rule when Brady did that was against the Raiders.
Okay.
I know what you're talking about though, and that was hard.
So that's what I'm saying.
They
found a way to win that one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Then you go back even to Atlanta. Atlanta has this huge lead on these guys, but for some damn reason, the Patriots find a way to pull off a victory. So, in my opinion, the only way the Rams win this game, you can't say they got to jump onto a big lead.
You can't say that, right?
The Patriots have proven that they can come back from a big lead.
Right.
Even though I don't think they're nearly as explosive as they used to be. Look, man, Edelman and Gronk are obviously the guys that they go to in critical situations, right? Everybody knows that, but it's still been unstoppable. It's almost like that old Tecmo Bowl play, man. It's like, I don't care what down it is. If you can get that play off and avoid the rush, it's an automatic catch, right? So, man, I'm going for the Rams, and I think you and I both agreed that the Rams should win the game. But I'm telling you right now, man, I wouldn't be surprised if the Patriots win another controversial Super Bowl and go out on top.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, I went as far as the picking the Super Bowl champion. I was saying the Patriots. Mm-hmm. But honestly now, man, I'm kind of going back on that. From what you just said, man, you was dead on it by saying the comparison with Clemson and Alabama. Mm-hmm. I'm seeing the same thing. I'm seeing the Patriots or the Alabama of the NFL.
Right.
The Rams or Clemson, this high-powered offense, man, with all these weapons around it, man, with these big-name guys. I think the Patriots are going to go out, and I honestly, man, I think they're going to not the Patriots, the Rams. I think the Rams are going to beat the Patriots pretty bad. Well, let's give everybody the real reason why we really want the Rams to win. There's two San Antonio boys out there, man. You got Malcolm Brown from Steel, and I think Reynolds from San Antonio, if I'm not mistaken.
From
Jay. Yeah. So, like I said, man, you got two boys to get championship rings, man. You know, you definitely want to see that.
Yeah.
You know, you want to see that. So, I think the Rams going to blow them out. That's why I'm at. That's why I stand on, man. The Rams going to blow them out. Now, before we get off of that subject of the NFL, I want to get your opinion on this. I've been meaning to talk to you about this, man. And, man, during the game, I was getting annoyed, man, like super annoyed. Mm-hmm. And I was like, man, who is this, man? Who the hell is this, man? The commentary from Tony Romo. He was dead on the shit. He was dead on for what he was doing. But I was like, man, who is this, man? And Tony Romo's commentary, and I hear a lot of people talking, man, he was picking every, man, it was this, he was that. Like, well, I'm thinking to myself, well, if he was able to read the defenses like that, watching the game, then why? You know what I mean? He you know what I mean? I mean, what you thinking? I say he should be a coach. He should go back to the league. Or, man, I watch, man. I coach youth football, and I sit and I watch a lot of games. I predict plays too. That don't mean I need to be coaching the damn Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean? But now, everybody think Romo is this football guru now.
Right.
Now, what you think about that, man?
Well, I tell you what, man. After watching how much praise and admiration he got off of social media, I was like, well, damn. I mean, I watched the same game, and he called a few plays or what have you, but it's easy when you got folks in your ear feeding you commentary, you know, you got a whole tablet full of stats on what they like to do on third down, third down efficiency. It's kind of easy to predict that, right? So all I'm saying is, man, Romo, hey, who knows? Maybe he'll be a great coach at some point in time, but I'm not firing my head coach from any NFL team in aspirations of grabbing Tony Romo,
because
man.
He picked a couple of plays.
Man, stick to the commentary. Man, you had one good game with commentary, man, because before this game, I've never heard anyone say that Tony Romo was NFL coaching material, man. As many NFL coaches is on the hot seat, man, if somebody was to pick Tony Romo up as a head coach, man, I really wouldn't watch the NFL no more, man. Let that guy pay his dues first, and then maybe, prove, as an assistant coach, maybe some type of coordinator, then maybe he'll be in line for a head coaching spot. But nah, Tony Romo, I've never been a huge Romo fan as a player or definitely not as a coach.
No,
but I'm pretty sure that them boys, well, that's what they call themselves, the Cowboy Nation, man, is pissed off as they are at Garrett. Look like they looking for anybody to come in and try to save the day. But
well, hey, I don't know if you heard, but it's rumors of Sean Payton being the next Cowboys coach.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see how quick would the Cowboys fans turn their back on Garrett. If Peyton becomes available.
Immediately.
Hey, Peyton, stay your butt in New Orleans, man. Yeah. You're doing a great job down there, man. The Cowboys don't need you, man. Jerry Jones ain't gonna let you coach the team, man. Jerry Jones Puff Daddy, man. You know what I'm saying? He want to be all up in the videos and do all that. He ain't gonna better do that with Peyton, man.
You're right.
So, all right, man. Look, this is something I've been wanting to talk to you about because, the Fred Moe Show, man, is really predicated off of what you and I have accomplished in youth football, man. And I know we haven't really spent a whole bunch of time talking about, things that's going on in the youth football arena, man. But that's what this show is pretty much catered to, But we definitely got to, keep our fans abreast of what's going on in the NFL or whatnot. But, man, for the rest of this show, I would really like to just sit down with you, man, and kind of get a feel for, once again, youth football, man. Mm-hmm. This is something that's been on my mind, right? And we just freestyling this, man. This is something that's been on my mind because, we've been getting a lot of phone calls and a lot of interest about spring football. This is the first year, probably in about 5-6 years, that the Outlaws as an organization will not be doing spring football, right? And I put that out there to our head coaches and say, hey, man, if y'all want to do it, fine. I'm not doing it myself with my team, particularly because, man, for one, I want to take some time off, and I want these kids to also have some time away from the sport to do other things as well. So that brings me to this question, and I don't know if a lot of folks feel this way. I seem like I'm in the minority now because everybody does seem like football year round. Man, how much is too much youth football?
Man, now I know what's going to happen. There's going to be a lot of comments. Man, Goodlow full of shit. We don't want to hear this. I already know how it is. But, man, honestly, look, the reason why I feel like we haven't talked much about youth football, and I'm going to go to that first. Man, it's talked about enough.
Right.
Man, on social media. Youth football has become one of the biggest topics across this country, and I think it's talked about so much in a negative way. Man, I really just don't want to spend a lot of time talking about it. I just don't. I don't want to be in the mix of all of that.
Right.
Now, as far as when it comes to too much football, look, man, we've all been guilty of it, man. I remember at one point when I was back at the coach, man, I did spring, I did fall, man. We was training here doing this. Man, spring football should be just used for what it's supposed to be used for.
Right.
And that's for first-time kids or kids that need a little extra work or need to be developed to get an opportunity to play in the fall. You shouldn't have your studs out there playing in the spring. You shouldn't be worrying about winning a spring championship or none of that. Kids that play a lot during the fall season, man, this should be their off period and their time for their bodies to heal, man. Or just go do other sports, man. Their kids do basketball, do baseball, run track, do something, but I don't think, man, that between the ages of, well, high school kids don't do it.
Right.
College don't play spring football. NFL don't play spring football. I don't think, man, kids between the ages of 6 to 13 years old should be playing year-round football, putting all those miles on their bodies, because they got a lot of football ahead of them. Once you hit high school and college, you got what? High school, you got 4 more years and hopefully get to college. 4 more years after that, hell, you beat the odds, make it to the NFL. Average is what? A 5-year career. But if you 6 years old and you playing football, man, you still got about 20 years of football left in you.
Right.
Why are you playing year-round football? That's just, I mean, and my mindset hadn't always been that way. Don't get me wrong. It hadn't been that way. But as time went on, man, I see, all the boasting and bragging about, man, we won a spring championship, or let's do this, and the spring kids, my spring team just dominate, we'll beat anybody in the nation. I'm thinking, man, we're not using it for the right reason. Right. Spring football is supposed to be developmental time. We using it to go out just like it's fall.
Right.
And in the long run, man, you hurting them kids, dude. In the long run, we just hurting them kids, man. We doing way too much with them. Give them kids an opportunity to be kids after football. Because during the football season, they not kids, man. Right. During football season, they football players. That's how they treat it. They football players. Let's get out here. Let's work. And, that's good for them because you're trying to prepare them because, if they're playing now, they obviously got a love for it. So they want to move on and be able to play high school ball and contribute to the team. So you have to train them and prepare them. But you don't have to do it 12 months out of the year. You know what I mean? You got to give them kids time to recuperate. And not only spring football, and I'll let you talk, but like I said, man, this is something to just be on me.
Right.
The spring football. It's not just spring football now. Man, you got 1 million all-star games they participate in. So they play. You got kids that, the particular age group that I coached last year, let me go back to this real quick. So you have, for my particular age group that I coached this past season, I have kids that played practice through the week, played on either Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or middle school ball. Mm-hmm. Practice through a couple of days with us through the week, play on Saturday or Sunday. Okay. They probably spent all summer playing in all-star games. As soon as the season over with, they go play in another 4 or 5 all-star games.
Right.
By the time the all-star games are done, which is around February, now you have spring football started. Right. They do spring football from March until June. Okay. June, they get maybe 2 weeks off. July or late June, you start the fall season right back up. I mean, that's too much for anybody to do anything, man. That's too much to coach.
Oh, look, I'm going to give you my opinion on it. And I haven't always felt this way. And that's why I'm glad that you said that earlier because, at one point in time, I was like, man, we're going to kill in the off season because everybody else is taking a break. Mm-hmm. So while they're taking a break, our guys are getting prepared. They're getting stronger, faster. The football IQ is increasing and whatnot. But over the past couple of years, man, I'm not going to lie to you, brother, I'm tired.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm not out there doing the stuff that the kids are doing, right? So just mentally, I'm like, man, this is a lot. We're pretty rough on these kids, man, pretty much starting in July all the way through December. I don't think it's about the kids anymore. I think it's about these parents just being able to go out to brag on their kids. And I'm probably going to catch some heat for me making that comment because, everybody's going to feel, oh, well, Coach Fred is talking about me, which I'm not. I don't have anyone in particular. It's just, like I said, these 3 events that I've been a part of, I see a lot of the same kids, So my recommendation is like, hey, man, find one that you can gel with and that you have had a great experience with and stick with it. You don't have to participate in every all-star game. You don't have to participate every spring. I know when I was in college, we had spring football. You know, we got out there, we practiced, you know, we watched film, we worked out or what have you. But even that was only for a certain time frame. You know, it wasn't a lot of bang, 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 you know, tear your body up. You know, it was, like you said, it was to work on, you know, some of your deficiencies and improve on the stuff that you was good at. But it's like now, man, the way I'm looking at it, it's almost like a disease, man, of for attention. You know, some of these kids are so used to being the man. So every opportunity they get, they trying to go out and prove themselves.
And I don't mean to cut you off, but here's the thing, man. And it's the word that bothers me so much, man. Exposure. It's getting these kids exposed. Man's not getting them kids exposed. Look, this thing is this, man. What type of exposure do a damn 9-year-old kid need to have right now? He's not getting ready to sign a damn college scholarship or his letter of intent right now to go to school. He's not ready to do none of that.
Right.
So he don't need that type of exposure right now. He needs to just keep doing him and be a good football player and continue to work. Now, what you just said, look, all those events you named, the showcase, the process, True Talent, man, those are all great events. Great, and I wouldn't, and you know, I'm not saying stop those events because those are great events. I actually respect those events, man.
Right.
I think, you know, it's a good thing those guys are doing to give these kids an opportunity. And you need to keep those events going. The problem I see is that in these events and spring football, like you said, so if you're an all-star that can make it to these events, you shouldn't be playing spring football, and vice versa. What I'm saying is this. You see some of the kids, man, that's playing these events that are all-star caliber kids for right now. I'm not saying they true all-stars. I don't want people to start thinking, oh, my kid made it. But for right now, yeah, they are worthy of playing in an all-star game. But why are they playing spring football when it should be development time when they're playing these? So just pick the all-star games you want to play in and let them do that instead of having to play that and spring. And then the kids that are not all-star caliber kids, I see them in those games too. I see them there in True Talent and process and the showcase. So why are you putting your kids in an all-star game when you know he needs to be developed? Just let him play spring football.
Right.
So that can eliminate a lot of, once parents once they keep it real with themselves, man, with what their kid can do and what they can't do.
Right.
That can eliminate a lot of overplaying football. If you're an all-star caliber kid and you get invited to play for the Texas Showcase or travel for the Texas Showcase and make it or however you do, yeah, man, play that.
Right.
That's an opportunity for you, man. Go enjoy it. Have a good time. You worked hard to be able to play in an all-star game. If you sit on the bench all season, you really don't have, you know, a lot of football ability, don't take your kid out there to play an all-star game.
Right.
Don't even worry about that. Put them in spring football. Let them play spring football. Let them develop. And then maybe in a couple of years, maybe he won't have to play spring. He may be in an all-star game.
Right.
Now, we're talking about, you know, things that they can do in the off season. You know, you made a point while everybody's sleeping, we gonna keep working. Same mentality I had.
Right.
Man, everybody else chilling. We gonna do spring football. We gonna get right, man. I gotta be able to beat the outlaw. That was my mindset all the time. But now years went on, and you know, there's so much going on. There's different ways to prepare your kid in the off season,
right,
or to prepare your team in the off season, other than the bang bang. Like what I would like to see, like right now, I know it's a 7-on-7 league. I think Coach Clayton has a 7-on-7. Great deal, man.
Right.
Non-contact. It definitely help your skill guys. Great deal. Need to do something for linemen like that.
Coach Ron, yeah, well, Coach Ron is putting on that lineman camp, so that
great deal.
Shout out to Coach Ron. That should be something great for the linemen of at least for San Antonio. And I know there's some trench warfare. They got some good stuff going on. So there are some camps out there for linemen as well. So
there you go. Just do stuff like that, man. It don't have to be overdoing it, but just do stuff like that. That's taking a lot of wear and tear off the kids' bodies, but it's also keeping their mind fresh and developing them, man. Teaching them techniques, teaching them things like this. Like, man, you don't have to go out here and bang, bang and say, I want a spring game 32-0 so I can hold up a trophy. That's what it's all about, man. A lot of these guys are not preparing these kids in the spring. You're worrying about winning championships in the spring because you know you ain't going to win one in the damn fall. And the thing is, man, look, The reason why I can speak on this so well, Fred, me and you both done been there. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. We both did the wrong
first-hand
things.
experience,
yes,
right?
As far as the spring football stuff. But now, man, it's time to change that shit, man. You can't be doing this to these kids, man. Somebody have to change this and give these kids a true opportunity, man, to get better instead of just beating on their damn bodies.
Okay, so I want to bring up something, man, that's, once again, it's kind of controversial, man. I'm probably going to take a lot of heat for this as well, but, I mean, we wouldn't be us, man, without covering the controversial topics, man. Has youth football gotten to the point to where, man, a lot of these kids are just getting pimped out, because when we talk about all these all-star games and things of that nature, you said it yourself. A lot of kids in these all-star games are not of all-star caliber. Some of these kids are riding the bench on their own particular teams, right?
Right.
But then they are on these all-star teams, and they're not getting the playing time, right? And then the parents are arguing with the coaches, and the kids are having bad experiences, but some of the promoters are still capitalizing financially off of these overzealous parents, right? I've seen this firsthand, and to be honest, that was the primary reason why I didn't coach an all-star event this year, right? At least, for the time being, because I don't want to deal with that. The events that I like to coach are kids that I've never seen before. Just go give me a team of kids who they put on my team, and we go from there. I don't want to coach my own kids in an all-star game because I already know what these kids are capable of, right? Let them go play with someone else and just to have fun with it. But it seems as if so much money has become involved in these all-star games, these exposure clinics, to say the least, that it seems as if, man, some of these kids are being pimped out, not only by the organizers of some of these events, but also their own parents.
The thing is this, man, when it's come to being pimped out, the organizers, look, man, I'm going to be honest with you. In most of the all-star games, man, in any all-star game that you do, I don't care what it is, any all-star game anybody put on, yeah, man, they're going to make money financially. That's just it. That's why they're doing it. Now, it's only being pimped out on the organizers when they're not providing everything that they say, it's a bad event. If you putting on a good event, like I know a lot of these guys are doing, putting on good events, and everybody's getting what they feel like they paid for, yeah, man, no problem with that. It's a good event, man. The kids enjoyed it, man. Hey, man, it is what it is.
Right.
As far as the parents pimping out their kids, I used to feel, let me tell you, man, how I honestly feel now. And you're going to disagree with me on this. It's really not all the parents' fault. And I'm going to tell you why. And it sounds kind of crazy because it kind of is. I don't know. I'm kind of torn between them. Here's the thing. On the parents, I think that exposure word has been thrown around so much by the organizers and coaches to where I think these parents are me too. I think the parents are starting to believe that. I think it's the word exposure, man. We're going to get your kids exposure. We're going to get your kids, and man, like I said, I didn't use it too. We're going to get your kids some exposure on this. We're going to be able to do this and do that. And that make these parents believe, well, I got to get my kid in this. I got to get, and once one parent here, now another parent here. And that's how that has started to form to where everybody wants to be a part of everything that's going on. It's right. Not just parents and kids, it's coaches the same way. Coaches want to be exposed. So right now, it's in youth sports, everybody wants to be a part of everything that's going on that they feel like going to be an event where you can be exposed or where you're going to get some praise in. That goes for coaches, that goes for parents, that goes for kids.
Let me clarify what my definition of exposure is, right? Because I've used that before. But I don't mean exposure in the form of, man, this kid is about to be seen by,
I know what your interpretation
high school coaches.
Right.
I just want to clarify for the viewers because, to me, the one thing as a football coach or as a president of a youth football organization is you want people to understand that you operate with integrity, right? So when I think of exposure, what I'm talking about is exposing kids to different environments,
Right.
different experiences. Some of these kids may have not have ever gone to California,
definitely,
Florida,
definitely.
Georgia. They may not have seen some of these teams before. So they're exposed to different levels of competition, different experiences. The whole thing with the exposure is this. Let these kids be great. Let them go play a football game in an NFL stadium. They've never done that before. I've never actually played in an NFL stadium before. I would have loved to have done that as a kid, right? To me, that's exposure. You're doing something you've never done before, right? Let these kids go and play against a nationally ranked team out of Florida, Georgia. They may never get that opportunity again. They may never play another team outside of their locality, right? But when you start hearing coaches use that exposure word in the terms of, hey, man, come play in this all-star game. We're going to have 50 college coaches there, and, you're going to get more opportunity to get a scholarship. That's when I think it becomes deceiving and misleading. And I also believe that in the youth football arena, I think that's why there's been such an emergence of all of these all-star games, national tournaments, all this other stuff, what have you. Like I said, some of them are good, and man, I don't mind supporting the ones that I've been a part of because those are all good events. They're well ran. I think the people have the right intentions behind them. But just as I mentioned earlier, when is enough?
Right.
If you got a kid literally playing 40 out of 52 weeks of football, it's just too goddamn much, man.
Too much, man.
It's just too much.
Yeah, man.
So.
Well, here's the thing, Fred, and your interpretation of exposure, man, that's dead on this purpose. That just shows, man, that's the way it should be. I mean, shit, right now, man, I love to go coach in the NFL stadium as a grown-ass man. So imagine, like I said, that type of exposure is good for these kids. I feel like every youth football team across the country should at least get a chance to play somebody outside of their area.
Right.
And it don't have to be Alabama going all the way to Seattle playing somebody. But,
Right.
It could be right at Alabama getting to play against Mississippi. That's exposure. That's these kids playing somebody from a different area, a different state, and getting a chance to, experience that. That's good exposure. But like you said, the type of exposure that's being put out now is that, man, I get your kid looked at by Dabo Sweeney right now, man. I got connections, and I'm going to get him signed, man, when he a damn 8th grader and all that. So, and a lot of parents falling for that shit.
Yeah.
They think that's really going to happen. And I'm not sitting here just beating up on youth football. It's still a lot of good things that's going on in youth football.
Right.
Like the 7-on-7, like being able to play in little national things, like the national stuff that we do, going to Snoop. Man, I think that is by far the best event, man, I've ever.
Big shout out to SYFL, man.
Man, look, and man, you know where I'm at on that. You know that. I know, man. Hey, man, look, and this ain't no knock on nobody because they do good stuff too. But man, I like to stay safe. I've been a part of Snoop. I've been there. Every time I've been there, I've enjoyed it. Hey, man, let's keep doing it. So, and this year's event was the best ever. This past season. I think that's, like you said, good exposure. That's and not only good exposure, but that's something just for the kids that may not play football after youth football, man. That's something that they're going to remember for the rest of their life. So that's a good thing to do. But playing in 50 million All-Star games, you know what I mean? To playing in every All-Star game that's put on.
Right.
Hey, man, we're going to do an All-Star game in Florida. All right, we'll be there. Man, we're going to play an All-Star game in Michigan. All right, we'll be there. Man, we're going to do an All-Star game in fucking Germany this week, man. Can you make it? Well, let me try to get my money together. We'll be there. No, man, that's too much. That's too much. Allow your organizations, this to the parents, if you want your kid to be exposed to outside teams or outside, you know what I mean, what I'm trying to say. Put your kid in an organization that do stuff like that. Put your kid in an organization that's going, we're gonna go play in California for one weekend, or man, we're gonna go to Atlanta and play for one weekend. Do that if you want your kid to get that type of exposure instead of trying to be in every damn thing that's popping. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because right now, man, you're either doing one or two things. Your kid may love football, but you've been putting too many miles on his body, or your kid may love football and you're going to make him hate it.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's one or two. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but that's just how I feel about it.
Nah, man. You look, you definitely not wrong, man. I mean, just to kind of sum up, just to kind of sum that up, man, I think you and I are both on the same page when it comes to the frequency of these games. I mean, it's just too many, right? And the crazy thing is, you and I both have come from, I guess we can call it the old school, to where we didn't always feel that way. Mm-hmm. So, man, if you are a coach or an organization, man, that's doing year-round football, all we're saying is, man, be careful with it. Mm-hmm. Make sure that you're monitoring and managing these players, right? If they got nagging injuries, man, maybe spring is the time for them to rehab, get their bodies back. I mean, the worst thing, in my opinion, that you can do to a young football player is take away his future in an effort to just have everything right now. Some of these parents have gotten to the point to where they want to have all the success for their kid right now. No thoughts of high school, college, like you said, let alone the NFL. So once again, man, this is kind of like a plea to all the football coaches, you football coaches out there, man, be aware of the bodily harm that you may be causing your young football players with too much football. Get their bodies a break, man. Let them play basketball. Let them run track. Hell, baseball, whatever it is, just get those guys an opportunity to do something a little bit different, man.
All right, man, this is what I want to talk about right now. The Los Angeles Lakers, man, with LeBron James being out. That's what's been on my mind. With LeBron James being out, and it kind of go back to what we were talking about earlier, but this is when we're going to be able to determine the greatest of all time.
Okay.
If LeBron comes back, when he comes back, what I think he's coming back like soon, they make a run, they make it to the playoffs. If he get the LA Lakers even to the conference finals this year, I'm going to move him ahead of Michael Jordan.
Man, that is bogus of commentaries I've ever heard in my life, man. Look, I don't give a look, man. For one, LeBron chose to be in that situation, right? He chose to be in that situation. Now, I'm probably as big of a LeBron fan as you can imagine, man, for everything that he does off the court. All right, great guy. All right. As far as the basketball situation, man, look, anything short of him winning a title, he gets no props from me. None. Because he put himself in that situation. Now.
But why? Can you think about why? Look, when he was in the East, he made it to the finals every year when he was in the East. Every year. Okay, I guess he got tired of it. The East is weak. Now he's in the West, the toughest conference in the NBA. If he's able to get them to the conference finals or to the finals with the roster that he had, because they said he didn't have a team last year. Shit, he definitely don't have a team now. Well,
what I'm saying is this, man. Okay, anybody can get to the dance.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, in the West right now, you got Houston, James Harden looking pretty goddamn good.
Yeah, man.
All right? Yeah. Golden State, in my opinion, is still by far the team to beat. All right? I'm not going to even talk about the Spurs, but like I said, it's a tall task. But if he is fortunate enough to just get to the conference finals, it means nothing to me. That's no different than him getting to the championship out the East. If he gets there and he loses in the Western Conference Finals, it's just like him going to the NBA championship and losing to the Western Conference champion. So he has to do something extraordinary.
That makes sense.
In order for him to say, hey, man, I'm the greatest. Now, like I said, I think the one thing that's going to harm LeBron's legacy is the fact that he's been able to pick and choose whatever team he wanted to go to. You know, I don't think LeBron had high expectations for this year. I think he just wanted to get in L.A., get his family settled in, you know, do some of his other little business ventures he had out there and try to attract other guys to come play with him for the next season. That's the only reason why I think LeBron is hurt right now. LeBron ain't got a whole bunch of gas left in the tank, so he's finna start being smart. He's not finna go out there and go 82 games in one season only to get his head beat in the Western Conference playoffs, right? I think he just say, you know what, hey man, let me just, you know, take a little time off. I ain't really done that before. Nobody can't really question his heart because he does play a lot of minutes.
But can you not see what he brings to a team? That's what I'm saying. Like, man, you took Jordan away from the Bulls. Yeah, the Bulls didn't make it to the finals, but they wasn't. And I still think Jordan the greatest. Don't get me wrong. Jordan my favorite player all the time. But when Jordan went away from the Bulls in a couple of years, they didn't make it to the finals. Orlando did, I think, and Orlando did 1 year.
But they were still competitive, though.
They were still competitive. Man, you took LeBron away from Cleveland, man. They over there getting murdered. Okay,
Yeah.
you take LeBron out of the Lakers was doing well. You took him out of the Lakers lineup. Shit, they struggling. You put him back in. This is one guy. That's what I'm saying. This is one player. One guy.
One player by design. You know, I don't think LeBron, it's just my opinion. Like I said, not to take anything away from LeBron, because once again, LeBron, in my opinion, is the best player on earth right now.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron has chosen to be the one player on the team that's great, as opposed to saying, hey, let me align myself with some other guys who can do maybe not just as much as I can, but
He just now did. They think this is the decision he made right now because
I think that's been LeBron's MO. You know,
the whole time
for about the past 4 or 5 years, and this one I'm gonna tell you why. Because when LeBron wins, what do the people say? Man, he did it with no help. When in fact he's had a little bit of help, right? But if you're the greatest, you should need a whole bunch of help, right? But when he loses, man, he ain't never taking no blame because all he doing is saying, look, I ain't got no goddamn body on my team.
I ain't never heard him say that though.
Man, you may not have heard him say it, but that's what he implies all the time. Why won't he stay in L.A.? I'm sorry. Why didn't he stay in Miami? Let me go back. I'm gonna go all the way back. Why did he leave out of Cleveland?
Yeah,
he said he didn't have nobody. He went to Miami. They won some, they lost some. He eventually say, hey, I got to get up out of here. He goes back to Cleveland.
It's the pressure that's being put on that man, Fred.
He's putting the pressure on himself because he keeps going to teams.
But no, listen, he went to Miami because that was a young decision, man. It's Miami. I'm going to Miami. I'm finna leave Cleveland. I'm gonna stay up here in Cleveland and get my head be in the cold weather. I'm finna go down here to Miami, man, on the beach and be the man with other guy. That was like a selfish decision. Man, we gonna win some ships because we loaded.
But what I'm saying is, hold on, just let me interject real quick. He didn't have no pressure on him when he went to Miami because he was playing with Wade, Bosh. He had a squad down there. He's the one who said, not one, not two, not three, not four. He's the one who said that. So any pressure that he had was pressure that he put on himself for going to a stacked squad.
Right, but it wasn't the pressure of being in Miami. It was the pressure that folk Cleveland, man, that man didn't know if he can go back home. That's the reason why he chose to go back to Cleveland. And he brought Cleveland the championship. Now this is what I think why he went to LA. Yes, the business stuff and his family being out there. That was probably 50% of it, man. Because that man can go play anywhere and keep his family in LA and his kids out there because he got the bread to do it.
Right.
The other 50%, is all the pressure of who's the greatest between him and Michael Jordan. So what I think happened was that LeBron wanted to go to L.A. and be around a team kind of built like the Chicago Bulls. I think he was looking at, all right, man, my Kyle Kuzma gonna be my Scottie Pippen. I'm gonna be Jordan, and I didn't think McGee was gonna be there, but the other big dude, the big dude that played this ball, I think he looking at him like it's Luke Longley. Well, I think he wanted to go be around a team that's built like Chicago, and do some of the things that Mike did.
If LeBron in fact used that ideology to go to LA, then he's not nearly as intelligent as I thought he was. Listen, LeBron, in my opinion, stays in his own lane. If you ask LeBron, and I think it's unfair to even compare LeBron to Jordan because they're two different players.
In two different eras.
But LeBron will find himself chasing Jordan for the rest of his career because Jordan, in the minds of folks who came up watching him, will never be unseated as the greatest. So for these young cats, oh man, LeBron is all they know. For us old heads, look, LeBron can go and win 5 more championships. We will find a way to disqualify him as being the greatest player,
right?
Only because what we've witnessed firsthand when it comes to Jordan. Therefore, I don't think, this is my opinion, I don't think LeBron went to LA to prove anything to anyone other than himself. I think LeBron went there for a financial opportunity, which is great because he's building a damn good legacy, and I want LeBron to make as much money as he can because LeBron gives money back, right? So if LeBron went to LA and increased his net worth from $500 million to $1 billion, I think that he would give back a large percentage of that to help out others. So I want him to increase his net worth. I don't think LeBron is in it anymore for the basketball accolades. If he gets them, I think he's cool with it. But I think if LeBron didn't win another championship in his career, I think he still skates out and says, hey, man, I'm good.
I think he need to get one more. I think he wants one more. I think he wants to bring one to L.A., and I think he's going to get one in L.A. before he retire. L.A. will win a championship with LeBron before he retire.
I'll tell you what.
And would that make him better than Kobe?
He already better than Kobe, in my opinion.
Oh man,
not as a Laker.
My list, all-time greats in my time. I gotta go. My top 3: Jordan, Kobe, Jordan, Kobe. This is in my time. Jordan.
Oh, in your time. Okay.
Jordan, Kobe, and then number 3, man. I'm sure you probably gonna disagree because his career was kind of cut short, but Magic. But what Magic brought to the game, what he brought to it's 2 Lakers in my time and a Bull, And after Magic, man, I mean, it's kind of open with me.
Well, I mean, I can't. For me, the only one that I know for certain is Jordan. Is number 1, man. I don't care how you crunch all the other guys up in, and you can do 2, 3 to 10 or what have you. It wouldn't matter to me, because I think there's an argument for almost any basketball player outside of Jordan to be 2 through whatever.
Kobe kind of in that Jordan. Kobe was the closest thing to Jordan. Fred. Kobe won shit with Shaq without him. Yeah. So I mean, it's just not a huge separation between Kobe and Jordan. He spent his whole career at one team. He won multiple championships there. He won them when he really shouldn't have won them, man. Like I think he won 2 with teams that kind of like the Jordan built team.
Right.
The ones he won with Shaq and them, shit, they should have won them.
Well, look, all I'm saying is this. I think Kobe's a good guy. Like you said, Kobe, it's a fair comparison between Kobe and Jordan than it is from Jordan and LeBron. However, LeBron, in my opinion, is a much better player than Kobe.
Be more dominant. He could be more dominant.
I mean,
because of his physical.
I think he does more. He can pass. He's a better passer. I think he's.
That make him better than Jordan if you go overall game. Kobe, what makes Kobe and LeBron better? I mean, Kobe and Jordan better, man. they seem like they had more of the killer in
instinct.
there. And LeBron is more of a. It seemed like LeBron is more of a players type player. Like he wants to get everybody, but he wants to have fun and that type of shit. You know what I mean?
I'll say this. And after this, that's it for me when it comes to the debate. I think LeBron is probably the greatest basketball player of all time. That means if you just put him on the court and Jordan on the court, I think he probably could beat Jordan. He's bigger than Jordan, strong. Looks like he's a little bit stronger than Jordan or what have you. And if it's just those guys one-on-one, then perhaps maybe he can beat Jordan. However, basketball is a team sport. There's no greater competitor that basketball has ever seen, at least during my lifetime, than Michael Jordan. So therefore, if I had to put these guys on the team and when they face each other, I think Jordan runs circles around LeBron because Jordan got the best out of all of his guys. You know, Jordan wanted his other guys to be great. You know, he made those guys great. He wasn't looking just to edify himself to be the best. So, you know, that's my opinion. Like I said, look, I know I got some homeboys out there right now. We go back and forth on Facebook, damn me on a daily basis between Jordan and LeBron. All right. And then, you know, every now and then they kind of throw Kobe in the mix or what have you, but that's just my opinion. So,
yeah, I mean that makes sense, but the only thing I'm looking at is the reason why I said I would move LeBron up, which it'll hurt me to do that. But if LeBron can take the Lakers to a conference or a finals, the Lakers, this roster Lakers,
it won't happen, man.
And man, I gotta rethink it. That's what I'm saying. If he can do that, I gotta rethink it because LeBron still, and I'll end it on this, he's still the only active player right now in the NBA that I feel like could have played in that 90s era and contributed. He's the only one that I feel like could have played in that era.
I can agree with you somewhat on that.
So if he could have played in that era, hey man, you gotta rethink it, man.
I tell you what, hey man, anybody that got some money, they want to bet Coach Mo, hey man, I will take that bet any day. The Lakers would not. I don't think the Lakers even get out the second round of the playoffs. But like I said, I'm willing to bet that the Lakers will not make it to the Western Conference Finals.
Finals.
Inbox me, and we can make that bet official.
Conference Finals. The Lakers will make it to the Conference Finals. Maybe even the NBA Finals. They will be in the Conference Finals, well, look, man.
We can just bet right here then, man. You know, we can just bet. Hey, we can bet some rent money or something, man. Hey, you know, because I don't see the Lakers making it to the Western Conference Finals. But I tell you what, man, I think that just about wraps up the show that we got for today, man. I think we have some good topics today. Definitely make sure that you're tuning in next Wednesday. All right, so we definitely apologize. We're changing the shows to Wednesday, so make sure that we have enough time to get everything put together for a nice show or what have you. So Wednesdays at 7 p.m. You can expect Fred and Coach Mo show on the YouTube channel, man.
All right, well, Wednesday night. Check us out.
Hey, go Rams.